Welcome to Little Dreamers Bedtime Stories. Before we begin, take a slow, deep breath and feel the gentle warmth of early summer sunlight upon your face. Around you, the pond glimmers like glass, dragonflies shimmer above the reeds, and the air hums with soft ripples of life. Tonight's story is about a little duckling hatched beneath blue sky and green leaves, who didn't look like the others. It's a tale of patience, of seasons turning, and of finding beauty where the world once saw none. So, close your eyes, feel the rustle of feathers in the reeds, and drift into the ugly duckling. Before we start, if you like what we do, don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to our channel. It is very important for us. Thank you.
Little Dreamers Bedtime Stories.
In a quiet corner of the farmyard, beneath the drooping arms of an old willow tree, a mother duck sat patiently upon her nest. Around her, the pond whispered with frogs and cattails, and the scent of wet earth filled the warm morning air. One by one, her eggs began to crack. Little yellow ducklings tumbled out, blinking at the light, cheeping softly. They were round and bright, their down glistening like gold dust in the sun. But one egg remained, larger, slower, heavier. Days passed before it finally trembled and split. Out came a duckling, unlike the rest. His feathers were grayish and dull, his neck a little longer, his steps a little clumsier. The mother duck blinked at him kindly. "You're a strange one," she murmured, "but you're mine." And she led them all to the water, proud as any mother could be. The pond welcomed them with a shimmer of light, but whispers soon drifted from the other ducks, curious, then cruel. "He's too big," they quacked. "Too gray, too ugly." The little duckling lowered his head, wishing the ripples would carry him far away. Days passed. The farmyard bustled with life. Hens scratching, geese honking, and ducklings darting through the reeds. The little gray duckling tried to join their games, but every laugh seemed to end with him being pushed aside. He found comfort beneath the willow roots, where minnows flashed in the shallows, and the water was cool and still. He would look into his reflection and wonder why he looked so different, why his brothers and sisters shone golden while he seemed made of shadow. When night fell, fireflies drifted over the pond like tiny stars, and sometimes he wished one would fall close enough for him to hold, to keep as a light of his own. Autumn winds began to move across the fields. The other ducks grew sleek and strong, while the little gray one grew thinner, quieter. One evening, as golden leaves floated on the pond, he heard the older ducks whisper again. He'll never fit in. And so, before dawn touched the sky, the little duckling slipped away through the reeds into the world beyond the farmyard. He wandered through fields of stubble and over quiet streams where reeds shivered and frogs croaked softly at his passing. The sky stretched wide above him, heavy with clouds, and rain sometimes fell cold and hard. He met wild ducks who laughed at him, barnyard hens who pecked at him, and even a cat who only hissed before curling back to sleep. No one wished him welcome. Still, he walked on. Sometimes he rested by a puddle or curled beneath a thistle to hide from the wind. His feathers grew rough, and hunger ached inside him like a hollow bell. When evening came, he saw a shape gliding through the twilight. Great white birds with long necks and wings that caught the last red glow of the sun. He stood in awe. They were the most beautiful creatures he had ever seen. Something deep inside him stirred, a longing he couldn't name. He stretched his small wings toward them, but they were gone, fading into the crimson clouds of the sunset. Autumn had painted the world in golds and reds, and the little ugly duckling moved carefully through the fields, feeling the crisp wind tug at its feathers. Every rustling leaf seemed to whisper secrets, and the reeds along the ponds bent and swayed as if bowing to a tiny traveler. Insects buzzed faintly in the warm, fading light, and somewhere nearby a rabbit froze, its ears tall and alert, watching the duckling pass. Even a fox paused at the edge of the forest, its golden eyes glinting like amber before slipping silently away. The duckling's heart fluttered with both fear and wonder. Loneliness pressed gently against it, yet there was a spark of excitement that grew stronger with each careful step. Small ripples chased one another across the pond's surface as it paddled, and the reflection of the autumn sky seemed to shimmer like a painting. The wind carried scents of distant woods, wildflowers, and fallen leaves, mixing into a perfume the duckling had never known before. Occasionally, a gust of wind ruffled the feathers across its back, startling the duckling, and a falling branch sent a shower of leaves tumbling down. Yet each challenge made the little duckling stronger, braver, more certain that somewhere beyond these fields lay a place it could call home. And as night fell, the first stars blinked faintly in the darkening sky, mirrored perfectly in the pond's still waters. Though the shadows stretched long and the forest whispered its secrets, the duckling felt an unspoken promise. The world was vast and sometimes lonely, but it was also full of wonders waiting to be discovered. Dawn came slowly, painting the mist in soft silvers and pale golds that shimmered across the pond like 1,000 tiny stars. The little duckling paddled through the glassy water, its tiny webbed feet sending gentle ripples across the mirror-like surface. Dragonflies hovered above, their wings catching sunlight like scattered gems, and a distant heron lifted gracefully into the sky, calling out a long, lonely cry that echoed across the forest. Every sound, every flutter of a leaf seemed to carry a story of the world, and the duckling listened with wide, curious eyes, feeling its heart swell with both wonder and courage. It explored further into the unknown, discovering hidden ponds tucked between reeds, crystal clear streams that babbled over mossy stones, and glades where wildflowers bowed gently in the morning breeze. A pair of tiny frogs leapt from leaf to leaf, startling the duckling for a moment, while a hedgehog sniffed cautiously from behind a bush. Each encounter, each whisper of the wind, reminded the little duckling how vast and intricate the world truly was. As it glided across the water, the duckling felt something stirring within. Days of wandering, braving the cold and uncertainty, had strengthened its heart and wings. Where once it had been small and awkward, now it felt tall, graceful, and certain. The sunlight caught the wet feathers, making them glimmer with an almost magical glow, and for the first time, the duckling saw its reflection not as ugly, but as something beautiful and majestic. Its wings stretched wide, catching the golden light, and it realized it could glide effortlessly across the water, elegant and free. The pond itself seemed to shimmer in response, mist rising in gentle swirls, reeds bowing, and dragonflies dancing in celebration. The little duckling had grown into a swan, not just in form, but in spirit too. Every day of the journey had been a teacher. The cold had taught patience, the forest had taught courage, the streams had taught joy in simple wonders, and the wind had taught it freedom. The world now welcomed the young swan with open arms. Each ripple, each bird call, each glimmer of sunlight was a reminder that it was exactly where it needed to be, strong, beautiful, and ready for all the magic the world had to offer. As the swan lifted its wings to soar across the morning sky, a quiet, joyful certainty settled in its heart. It had finally become exactly who it was always meant to be. And now, dear dreamer, it's time for you to rest. May your heart grow quietly like the duckling who waited through the winter. May your dreams unfold like wings in the morning light. Your hope shimmer softly across the ripples of time, and your kindness remind the world that every soul has its season to shine. Good night.